So just say you were having a conversation with a beloved and it went off the rails. And just imagine that in that conversation, perhaps they said something that upset you, perhaps you just got triggered and you end up saying something that later on you regretted. There's a practice you can do, and it's called inner reflection technique. I've seen all kinds of miraculous things happen for myself as well as others. Hi, I'm Shakti Durga. Welcome to Mystery School, ancient wisdom for everyday life. A space where we explore the sacred, awaken inner knowledge, solve problems, and learn to live from the divine within. Hello, welcome to Mystery School. I'm Shakti Durga, and today we're going to talk about what I think is the advanced class in spiritual training, and that is relationships. And specifically, we're going to look at setting boundaries. How do you set healthy boundaries so that you can thrive in relationships? Well, to start with, I think that the most basic part of understanding the metaphysics of relationships and how to work with them constructively is that most of what we're doing with relationship is not physical. So whilst there are certainly words that are said between two people, and certainly there's some body language, there's so much more going on beneath the surface of a relationship. And that's really what I'd like to discuss with you today and share a tool that might help you to recalibrate and rebalance a relationship if you've got one that is a bit sticky at the moment, where you're feeling a bit uncertain, where you feel there's a bit of distance. So hopefully this will help you in those situations. As I said, it's the advanced class in spirituality because there's nowhere to run, there's nowhere to hide. Everything that's going on in the inside of us is there in our face as somebody relates with us. So let's think about the 5 dimensions, which I've talked about in previous podcasts, and how they relate to relationships. As I said before, we have the physical part. We have to show up. We have to spend time with each other. We have to try and use language that's appropriate and not debasing or abusive language, not, disrespecting another person with their language. And also because we don't like it, do we, when that happens to us? Sometimes it's very hard to avoid, and sometimes we mess it up. And that's when the psychic impression of what you've said and the way you said it sticks in our energy field and sticky. And what happens is that it tends to be something that attaches to the way communication then unfolds. And it takes a while for that stickiness to go away. And usually there's got to be a real surrender or a real act of forgiveness for that to happen. And so there's another way forward as well. If we understand that our energy field is like a set of containers for consciousness and energy, then we understand that everything that we're putting into a relationship or receiving back from the relationship is going into these containers. And so over time, they get very choked up. On another occasion, we will do some healing directly on the energy field. But today, what I really want to go to is the next level of who we are on the inner plane, which we are astral beings. We have a dimension of our consciousness that lives in the astral field. Astrology as a metaphysical science is named after the astral field. And it's the field where big waves of emotion are rolling through all the time. And they're either lifting us up, dragging us down, pummeling us, or really helping us, depending upon where in the cycle of the emotional waves you happen to be at any moment when anything in particular is happening in your life. Those emotional waves are affected by the relative positions of the stars, the sun, and the moon relative to where you are on Earth. It's very mathematically arrived at. The computations are complicated, but luckily we have computers now that can help us to ascertain that. So another tip is that if you can't understand what's going on in a relationship that's important to you, and it just seems to go from one level of bad to another despite your best interests and endeavors, then check out your astrological profile and perhaps get a relationships chart done so that you can see what's going on in the composite chart of both of you in the relationship. There are other ways too of working with this very powerful field, because in this field is where all of our thoughts, our beliefs, our expectations, and our memories sit. And they sit around us like an invisible cloud, and it goes everywhere we go. And so part of spiritual training, and very important part not to be overlooked, is the cleansing and purification of our astral bodies, which takes some years to achieve. And we just keep working on it systematically, day after day, week after week, month after month, and year after year, to keep cleansing and purifying that field of consciousness that is our generation and what we're sitting in, what we've attracted to us. So just say you were having a conversation with a beloved and it went off the rails. And just imagine that in that conversation, perhaps they said something that upset you, perhaps you just got triggered and you end up saying something that later on you regretted. I used to joke with some of our team that wouldn't it be good if your mouth had a rewind button? I certainly could have used a rewind button on my life many, many times. Yep, just rewind, take that back and put in something else. Well, there's a practice you can do that is similar to a rewind for what we've said. And it's called inner reflection technique. You can call it daily reflection technique because you can do it every day to good effect. And it really is simple, but incredibly effective. I've seen all kinds of miraculous things happen for myself as well as others when we've messed something up and then we do this practice from goodness in heart, not from trying to control anything, but just wanting to clean up our side of the street and come to peace ourselves with something that perhaps we regret now. So I thought we might do that together today. There are other levels to relating, and we talk about them in our 3 Shanti Mission relationship modules. They're part of the Path of Ease and Grace. And the Path of Ease and Grace is a series of seminars designed for anyone who lives in a modern society who's wanting to bridge the gap between the life that we experience and the inner life and the soul. And we help people understand how to bring the soulfulness and the spirit alive to navigate health, wealth, and relationships. We have 3 empowering relationships programs that are based on my book, Empowering Relationships. And the one that's coming up soon is Conflict to Connection, which you can hop into in June. It's run regularly, and just have a look at our website, shantimission.org, and you'll see the Path of Ease and Grace programs, and it's under that tab. It's part of our mystery school, but right at the very beginning, it's the foundation. If we don't have a foundation, if we don't clean up our energy field, if we don't clean up our astral body, then the higher mysteries and the things that we can do involving the great celestial energies and potencies, it'll make a bit of a mess. So we want to have our foundation good before we go tripping around the stars, literally. So here we go. We're going to do the inner reflection technique. And so please get comfortable and ready for meditation. You might want to sit with your back straight on a chair, on the floor, whatever you're more comfortable, or you can lie down for this practice if that's more comfortable for you. And really bring to mind now a person that you would really like to clean your relationship with them. Perhaps someone who you care deeply about, but it just seems that no matter what you say, things just go from bad to worse. Or someone with whom you had a recent disagreement. So close your eyes if that feels comfortable to you, and just start to breathe deeply and slowly as you start to access a meditative framework. And with the next in-breath, breathing right down into your belly, let your belly relax and let the out-breath flow out through the base of your spine and deeply into the earth. And then from the earth, draw up beautiful, clear, clean energy like you find in nature, in beautiful forests or at the ocean, and draw that energy upward through your body like it's a gift, and every cell in your body goes yum. And bring that energy right up through your body and out through the top of your head, and releasing upwards. And then drawing in energy from above, coming in through the top of the head and down through your body, and all the way out through the base of the spine and into the earth. We'll do that again. Imagine the point of light at the core essence of the universe, within the divine of your understanding, and pulling that divine infinite light in through the top of your head from a great pillar that exists above you and through you and down into the earth. And just let that light flood in through your body, and your energy field will say thank you. And with practice, you'll feel this very strongly. It's very relaxing and nurturing. And now just bring your awareness into your heart center as we call upon the wisdom of our higher souls, and we call upon the beloved. And you can just think of the person with whom you'd like to clear a relationship. And then just gently asking for guidance and wisdom, and forming the intention that there be peace and harmony, goodwill, and a deepening of compassion and love between us. And just breathe in as you allow your body to feel that intention. And then just gently going back in time from this very moment, back to a time that you can remember where, either through your energy, your words, your actions, something kind of was a bit off. And we're going to do some healing now. So you can say, I now release any negative energy, thoughts, vibrations, or emotions that arose from that interaction. And I ask that this be transmuted into peace. And breathe deeply in and releasing everywhere. And feel your body releasing whatever was there from that interaction. And then say, I'm sorry I wasn't as skillful as I would have liked to be. And I ask that you forgive me. And I'll try again now. And breathe in and release everywhere. And now just imagine that you're in that time again with that person, and say what you wanted to say the way you wanted to say it, with kindness, with understanding and clarity, and being clear with that person, breathing slowly and deeply. And put a few words of encouragement into the conversation. And sharing a little bit of your fondness for the person with them, and how much you admire certain qualities. And thank them for being in your life, and let them know that it is your intention to move deeper into friendship, deeper into love. And imagine that from your heart, amazing pinkish energy is flowing to the other person, and that love is flowing between you through the pinkish energy. And then let go and release, breathe and let go. And if you wish to, you can cut, bring your hand down the front of your body and just cutting. Big out breath, and then take your awareness back further as we seek out another time in our history with this person that there could have been a little trickiness, and where perhaps you are not so clear in that other interaction. Just going back until you can find a time where your attitude, your energy, your presentation, your words, that you just weren't as kind and clear and loving and patient as you could have been. And say, I ask for divine help in releasing all negative energy, negative psychic impressions, and negative emotions from my interaction with, and say the name of your beloved. And I ask for divine help in bringing this relationship into peace, harmony, balance, and clarity. And breathe in, and then releasing everywhere. And you can imagine an electric violet light just flooding through your body, through your energy field, through your whole being, and dissolving and disintegrating any ripples in the force in your relationship with this person, going back through time. Breathing slowly and deeply, holding steadfast to your intention to dissolve what you've outgrown now, and instead to bring the deliciousness of true compassion, soul presence, clarity, and kindness to your interactions. And breathing deeply, and just send from your heart that wave of lovely energy of which I'm speaking, and imagine it going back through the timeline with this person, all the way back through all of your interactions, just being cleansed. And imagine that the divine of your understanding, or perhaps spiritual teachers or archangels or divine beings that you work with, are blessing you, blessing the relationship, and helping you in your efforts to be a peacemaker and to rectify mistakes in consciousness and bring forth a higher vibration of potential for yourself and others. And just offering this through your relationship with your beloved, and smiling at them, and just now saying to them anything you'd like to say that is positive and affirming of them, thinking about their good points and their strengths. Tell them how much you admire those. And then once more sending a wave of loving energy from your heart. Just intend that the love within you that's part of your higher soul just now flood into this relationship and be available as a new foundation for peace and harmony and well-being for kindness, and for closeness. So be it. And just take a few deep, slow breaths as you allow your body to integrate the practice. And then gently bring your awareness back into your body, wriggling your fingers, wriggling your toes, and when you're ready, you can open your eyes. How are you feeling? I hope you can feel a little lightness after doing that. And certainly with a few repetitions, you will notice a change. I've known people who've come to our seminars and practiced this technique, and people they hadn't spoken to for a long time, where they'd felt there was estrangement and they didn't know what to do about it, that after the seminar, that person would call them and would say, hey, look, I really regret that we haven't been in touch. Do you feel like getting together for a cup of coffee? So these things are capable of being shifted, and this is such a lovely, gentle, spiritual way of approaching the practical issues that we face in day-to-day life as we seek, and sometimes miss the bullseye, we seek to be peacemakers. I hope you enjoy using inner reflection technique, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Thanks for joining me for Mystery School, Ancient Wisdom for Everyday Life. For deeper experiential spiritual exploration, join me for Mystery School Living Light series, and for more information visit shantimission.org. See you next time.